What's going on, Small Group Network? This is Danny Bias hanging with you live at the Lobby 2018. And this morning I have the pleasure of hanging with a friend of mine, Jay. Jay, tell us all about yourself, what you do.
Yeah, so my job is I'm the online pastor at Saddleback. So
Yeah.
I oversee our online ministry and our online groups. And so all sorts of fun things of, unfortunately and fortunately at the same time, it's always changing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we have thousands of people that watch from all around the world, and we provide ways to either plug them into our local church, into other churches, or really provide a church home to them if they don't have something.
Awesome. Yeah, I've followed you from a distance down in San Diego, just watching all the stuff that you guys are doing up here, and had the opportunity to sit through one of your breakthroughs at the Lobby this week. And man, just the knowledge that you carry with the online groups is like a lot of us as small group point people are getting ready to either step in that world, have kind of dabbled in it and been like, man, it's kind of difficult. So a couple things that I'd love to know. What would you say are some of the biggest bonuses or benefits that you've seen at Saddleback by taking that online community, that streaming community, and easing maybe the senior pastors like, well, if they go online, they're not going to come or they're going to do this, and then you've got them connected into community. How has that really helped you?
Yeah. First off, I want to say I just surveyed like 100 churches doing online ministry, and one of the questions I asked was, how many of your churches actually were negatively impacted by offering something online? And only less than 1% had seen negative results.
That's cool.
99% had seen only positive results. So just generally, there are a lot of fears. I generally call it, and we've kind of talked about it at Saddleback, is it's kind of like a frontier syndrome.
Yeah.
That people they hear stuff going on in the Wild West, and it could be like, there's like everything from Indians to Mormons to like you might discover gold, and we get so fear driven. But I think the thing that and we've kind of camped on as, and I've been grateful for my leadership, is that we are serving the intelligence of our community locally and online, is that more and more people are digitally connected. Yeah. More and more people, they see this as one of their primary ways they connect. Doesn't mean that it's a healthy way to connect. It's the way that they connect. And so as a church, to be able to speak that love language of like connecting them with technology is just as important as how clean your website is looking. It used to be back in the day that, one of my first jobs at my church, not at Saddleback, but another church in Southern California, was I would mow and weed whack and pick weeds in front of our church to get it all like ready for Sunday. And the idea was, we got to take care of this and tell the community it's valuable and important. But now your website streaming is that love language. Less and less your building is as relevant for somebody who's in their 30s, 20s. It's how good is your technology, and by offering online groups says a lot about what you value. And we've kind of learned that and kind of stumbled into that. And it shows that, hey, we care about what you care about, and it's really important. And it also provides a safety net for people who can't get connected. And this is just so important where, as somebody who's been doing small groups for a while, and if you're watching this, you've probably been doing small groups for longer than me, is that sometimes when you're plugging somebody into a group, it's like they want the specific time and location and travel. Well, online groups kind of serve as a safety net. Hey, travel isn't an issue. You can just jump in. So it has helped us locally in a big way to kind of go like, hey, we're going to remove the excuses. Online groups, you can't do that? What are you talking about? And it's kind of helped our local community that way as well.
That's so good. The one thing I love about you guys here at Saddleback and you too is just the transparency of, man, we've kind of stumbled through this a little bit, and now being into it a little while, there's maybe a couple things that I know I would ask. Number one, knowing what you know now that you didn't know then, what would you kind of say, hey, this is something as you're stepping into this world, or maybe you're operating in this world a little bit, here's some of those flags that I would raise right off the bat. This is what I probably would never do. This is what I would have done. And maybe like your current kind of maybe pinch point a little bit where you guys are at, like maybe a growth barrier, or maybe something that you're like, man, we're really working through this right here.
Yeah, so I think one of the number one things that we changed a while back was we stopped telling people this is how you had to meet. And so we have realized that technology is very much personality, like people's preferences. So you could talk to anybody like who has an iPhone versus an Android, or Microsoft versus Apple, or and the same thing with meeting online using Zoom or Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
I don't love Google Hangouts. I just don't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not good.
Yeah.
I also don't love Skype.
Yeah.
I think Skype
Yeah.
is complicated.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I know that the people that want to do online groups, at the end of the day, all we want them to do, and we kind of just figured this out the hard way, is we just want them to meet with their friends regularly online and talk about some things that are guided through some video content.
That's great.
And so we don't care if you meet on Zoom, if you meet on Skype, if you meet on the WhatsApp or WeChat or Blue Jeans is another meeting software. It doesn't matter. And when we got out of the business of saying, here's how you have to meet, and go, we just want you to meet. Now we still have a preferred way we still have like, hey, Zoom is a great way to meet.
Yeah.
But we say you can meet however you want, and that was like kind of one of those things that was a catalyst for a lot more growth. Because when people started to be able to like, oh wow, because they might be familiar with a technology that they use for their work.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we just want them to meet. And that was a huge shift for us that we probably should have done early on, that we probably could have had more growth if we wouldn't have been so rigid to go, this is how you meet, this is the technology, and just let them meet however they want.
That's awesome.
That's been huge.
That's huge.
And then the second question you were asking about what pain points.
Yeah. Where are you guys at now? What would be your struggle maybe a little bit now?
I think, even the lobby, we've been talking about this, is one of the things that we're trying to figure out is how to connect more people locally to each other.
Good.
And so, just facilitating that is really tough. So like online, we have people watching from all over, and I might know like, hey, there's 100 people watching in the San Antonio area, or there might be 300 people watching over here. But those are private IP addresses that I'm not able to connect them because of, we don't want to be the creeper. We don't want to be the person who says, it's like everybody says like right now, like I talk about something and all of a sudden that ad shows up on my Facebook feed. We don't want to be that where we like creep them out.
You don't want to add another algorithm to their life, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can't do that. And small groups tend to get started off of relationships.
Yeah.
So the idea is that you reach the people you already know, but what if there's a small group down the street, and how do we connect them to each other?
Really good, yeah.
And we've done everything from, we've done physical meetups where I'll go into a city and I'll say, hey, I'm here, let's connect each other. We've done online meetups. We'll say like, we're gonna do an online meetup using Zoom for everybody that lives in Japan. And that's work, but there still is a skill thing of, I want people to be able to connect locally to each other on an easier level. And I will say a lot of it has to do with the pain point is us as staff, that we are the bottleneck for connection. Because I had somebody, we just did a campaign, had somebody reach out to me and said, hey, I live in Alaska, and do you have any groups in Alaska? Well, we did have 3 groups in Alaska, but the problem is that they had to email me to connect, and I was just thinking, is there a more organic way where we could be removed? And we got to think about privacy, we got to think about all sorts of things, and so that's a pain point that we are still wrestling through. And meetups might be the answer, or local events. We're still wrestling through that right now.
Man, Jay, thank you so much. Couple action items as we close out. Can we go to your website, the Saddleback website, and find out information about groups? What would be the best way to do that?
Yeah, so you can go to saddleback.com/online, and I would say if you want to learn how we do groups, just sign up using our next step card, and and say I want to start a group. Now, you'll get a bunch of language like you're joining a group, but you can actually see how we do it. And then the other way, I would love to answer any questions.
Yeah. Can we flood your email box?
Yes, so jayk@saddleback.com. I'm also in the Facebook group as well, so you can kind of private message
Twitter,
me.
Instagram, all that stuff.
Yeah, so it's Jay Kranda. So, but yeah, jayk@saddleback.com. I would love to answer any questions about online groups.
Dude, Jay, thank you so much for this morning. Guys, the lobby's been a phenomenal week. Thank you so much. If you didn't make it this year, make sure you join us next year. It's awesome. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.